Hello everybody, welcome to another TBIC predictions video. Today we're predicting TBIC 8. You might be wondering to yourself, where's TBIC 7? We're not gonna talk about that. I just forgot about it. And we just don't know where TBAC 7 will have predictions. We will never know. I made my own predictions in the Discord, which you can join just by clicking this little link over here. If you're interested in playing, go into the Twitter. It's TBAC event, or go to the Discord and you'll be able to know when signups come out. But for now, we're going to TBAC 8. TBAC 8 is a Christmas event that we decided to do last second before. Since we didn't do a Halloween event, so we were just gonna think we were gonna do another regular event. But we're making a Christmas event with a whole bunch of themes and everything like that. So we're gonna see how this goes. If you didn't know from previous TBAC or anything like that, TBAC 7, the winners of the Maroon Mountage, which are Sea Dog, Zombright, Evelyn, and Father Monkey King. So hey, a lot of cool things, a lot of cool winners and everything like that, and the Yar. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the actual teams of TBAC. Yeah, we're gonna see some predictions. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna analyze them a little bit later on. But for now, let's look at these teams. So we have the Diamond Decembers first. Wow. The Diamond Decembers. I should have probably clicked here, so I'll click this here. Wow, Diamond Decembers. Custom names that we're going to be doing. Isn't that great? So we have Sea Dog, Squidward, Pup Gaming, and Dig TV. This team is a very interesting one. Pup and Sea Dog duo is pretty scary for, movement team. I should probably say RSR is benched, but if RSR was in this team would do pretty well, especially since Pup and Sea Dog are top players. And have done well. I think the one thing that this team lacks is probably Sky Battle and BattleBox. Of course, Dig TV, who is a really good BattleBox player, will probably do very well. Pup has had very good games in BattleBox, and also Sea Dog has had pretty good chances. Squid also returns. Haven't seen Squid since TBIC 2, I'm pretty sure, where last time he teamed was with Pup as well. So we're gonna see how Squid does. Maybe interesting to see, but this team is overall pretty well. All pretty good overall players. Pup being the top frag in this team, which will be interesting. Will be interesting to see. But yeah, the Diamond Decembers, pretty good team already. Let's move on to the Red Ribbons, not Maroon. Sorry, Red Ribbons. So Red Ribbons, we have Soupfella, Manster, myself, and Shadow Phoenix. So two newcomers. Which are kind of hard to predict, I would say. When making the team, me and Pup had no idea about a lot of these newcomers, so you're going to see a bit of a trend. But I still think it can be somewhat balanced. Myself over here, I've had pretty interesting teams also because I'm not that, I did too well, so usually my teams get worse and worse. But this team, Loki, is pretty good. Manser is a bit inconsistent with his placements, having his top placement be like top 10, but his worst placement be like bottom 10. So it's going to be interesting to see where Manser places in this. And then, of course, the newcomers, Suit and Shadow. Two very interesting players. Suit is a pretty well-rounded player. And Shadow apparently is a pretty good PvP player. Unsure about the movement, but we'll see how it goes in the event. I think this is a pretty strong team, one of the stronger ones that I've had so far. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this team goes. I don't know. This might be a wild card team, honestly. It could go really well. It could go pretty bad. It depends on, I guess, game order and also how everyone actually plays. So yeah. Aside from that, let's move on to Team 3, which is the Golden Gifts. Another strong team, which includes Oddles, Snug, Jake Stone, and Orange Chicken. Orange Chicken comes back. Did not play TBAC 7, but did play TBAC 6. Very nice to see him once again. Two newcomers as well. We have Snug and Jake Stone. Snug is a pretty, from what I'm seeing, is a pretty good player. Having a second frag with Orange Chicken on your team is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. From before, Snug has played in a couple of events, and has done a lot for it. So, kind of very interesting to see how this goes. Um, overall, it's just a pretty what's it called? A pretty strong team. Jake Stone and Orange are, I don't know if they do well with each other or not, but Jake Stone doesn't play usually a lot of Minecraft, so as a bottom frag it won't go so well. But the trio of Orange, Snug, and Oddles is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this team steamrolls PvP games, and then for movement games, I think like Hole in the Wall and Type Tough they'll probably do well. I think Parkour Warrior is on the lower end, as this is Parkour Warrior's Orange Chicken's worst game. Autos usually doesn't place very well in it, and I could see Snug doing pretty well in Parkour Warrior, but I think it's probably their worst game out of all the roster. But still, nonetheless, a very scary team. Moving on to Jade Jingle Bells. Yes, Jade Jingle Bells. So Jade, we have Skeevy, Grant, Ben, and Jonathan Geist. Yes! So Grant John duo running it back once again after last duo not being so well. With this team now being a lot stronger from the previous duo that they had. Skeevy as a newcomer has had a lot of has played in a lot of events, both custom and not TBC, MCCI events. So it's going to be I think Skeevy's a well-rounded player, being more on the lenient on the parkour, on the movement side, but could be a pretty well-rounded player. And Ben being more lenient towards the PvP side, but not so great on the movement side. This team Loki is again similar to Maroon, where every player isn't necessarily bad, but every player can do really well. They can have all their pop-up potentials, and if they work together with it, I can see them. I just think this team is more inconsistent, to say the least, with Grant's best position in all TBIC is like, what, first in Div, and the worst one being his most recent event where he got 13th place. John usually places in around the lower end of top 10. Ben, I think, can get in the middle, and Skeevy could potentially get top half. Again, very scary team, but there's just a lot of scary players that this team could either do really well or a little bit on the lower side. Kind of depends. Moving on to the Sapphire Scarves, we have the return of Demers, and we also have the return of Fawn Aardvark, and finally we also have Negusi and Pitfair who have done it, and Negusi saying, ironically, Tbic, thank you Negusi for saying that. Anyways, very scary duo of Fawn and Demers. Fawn hasn't been having the greatest events recently with the recent release, or not release, but since season 2, Fawn became the third frag in the first TBC played, and TBATG was just not so well for Fawn. So I'm hoping Fawn gets some really good redemption, and with Demers on his team, I'm sure that Demers will lead this team very well. Negusi and Pitfair as the duo here is kind of a wild, thing to say the least. So it'll be very interesting to see how Pitfair and Negusi go. I'm hoping that Demers and Fawn can help Negusi and Pitfair do a lot, but yeah, we'll see. And finally, the last team is the Violet Vixens, including of Gamer Ethan 23, Sour Gummies, Stu, and Froggies. This is a friends team. All these are pretty good friends with each other and are here to win and everything like that. I think this is a pretty scary team, similar to Gold. They have 3 really good players, mainly good in the in the PvP side. Ethan, Sour, and Stu are really good players nonetheless. They've done a lot of it. And then, yeah, this is a pretty good team. Froggies, we have 3 newcomers in this team, so it's going to be interesting to see how well this team does. But yeah, those are all your teams for TBIC. So let's move on to the team builder. This is where all the stats come in and everything like that. I'm not going to talk too much about stats. You can see here all the averages. They're pretty close except for this team, I'd say, mainly because my average, and also because most of these newcomers are kind of hard to predict. I think my predictions for some of these are Shadow and Soup could probably do better than what this is, but since I do think this event will be a lot closer placing, I feel like this will be like the average of this event. So I think this is a good like idea of where to put them. I think Shadow will probably second frag from what I've seen. So probably a little bit higher than what I think. Manster could be in the middle, and Suit I don't think we'll get bottom 10, but I think with all the amount of players that we have, it's probably possible. It's a very stacked event. For Snug and Jake does not play that much Minecraft in general, so a little bit on the lower half. And Snug from previous events and everything like that, I can see Snug doing really well. Even getting probably top 10, most likely. Most likely we'll be getting top 10, I would say. Next up we have Skeevy and Ben. I think Skeevy, I just, gave them better for the movement side. And Ben a little bit better on the PvP, but with a lot of movement being in, it's gonna be a little bit hard. And finally, some average around here from what I've been told. So yeah. Overall, from looking at all of this, I have my own predictions in this little tab over here. But this is gonna be a very close TBAC. I think it's gonna be, anybody can really win this. I could be either anybody could really win this, or top two is just decided from two teams, which I'll be giving in my predictions. But I think this is kind of fine. I think most averages after, post looking at all of this in every way, I think it's fine, but it could be wrong. I hope it will be proved wrong, and I hope people do better. And see how well they'll do, so we have better ways to, what's it called, balance people in a better way. So, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to final predictions over here. These are going to be my final predictions for the event that is tomorrow, for me at least. Which we have team placements: Gold in first, Violet second, Red third, Jade fourth, Diamond 5th, Sapphire 6th. My reasoning for this is because, at least for Gold team, they have really good overall players. Snug and Orange as a duo is pretty crazy, and Autos being the third frag is really good. Violet, same thing. They have 3 solid players, 1 lower skilled player. They all bounce off of each other pretty well, so I think they'll do fine. Red third, a wildcard team. We could really place from 1st to 6th in reality. It depends on how Suit and Shadow do, so we'll see how that goes. Jade in 4th, I think this team is a pretty solid team in the middle. I think they'll do fine. Diamond in 5th, it's just the problem with this team is the lack of a leader, really. I could see Puff, doing really well, but I could also see, like, the rest of the team falling apart in games like Battle Box and Sky Battle. And finally, last 6th, Sapphire. Demis and Fawn is good, but just the fact that Nagusi and Fifth are on that team is kind of hard for them. So, yeah, those are my final predictions for TBIC 8. Come watch it tomorrow, I guess today, in, I don't know, an hour when I put this. I don't know. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy. I think this top 10, Orange Chicken, Ironic, Demers, Gamer, Ethan, Snug, Up, John, Stu, Grant, and Fawn works pretty well. I think this works fine. But yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed these predictions. We'll see if they're right. Most likely they're wrong. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow or today or whenever. Bye bye.